Welcome to the T3 Podcast, Episode 6, Week 6, 2022. This is a weekly podcast discussing tech, travel, and tracks. When it comes to tech, I will mostly talk about the M365 space and what I know regarding open source. For blockchain and crypto, I will refer to various experts. For travel, I will touch on cities, countries of interest, particularly how the global situation impacts travel and tourism. Tracks means beats and or instrumental music. I will let you know what I'm working on and mention my music YouTube channel. A quick disclaimer, I am not a travel agent, a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, scientist, etc., and do not offer such professional advice. I will enact fair use during this podcast. Please read the disclaimer upon request. This week we will be talking to Sam Miller. So Sam, where are you from originally?
I'm from Australia originally. My mom's American, my dad's Canadian, so I traveled around quite a bit. I found myself in Canada when I was riding a motorbike to South America. Found Colombia, where I've been living the last 11 years, and now I'm actually in Mexico. So a little bit all over the place.
Where are you based right now?
I'm based in Airbnbs. I'm traveling. I am in a nomadic mode. After 11 years in Colombia, I've been moving around a bit more right now. I think now is the time to be nimble. So I have a couple bodegas, mini storages where I have some possessions, but I stay very, very minimal in what I carry around, what I depend upon to do work, to live. So I'm actually quite nomadic right now.
So would you describe yourself as what they call a digital nomad?
That would be a label that would be applied. I think more people are actually digital nomads right now. Anyone who is work from home right now technically is a digital nomad, right?
Yes.
So I am not confined to any location, and I use digital technology to do my job. So yes.
I originally got in contact with you from watching you on YouTube. Can you please tell me what your YouTube channel is, please?
Sure. It's Sam Miller Life. The first chapter of that YouTube channel was showing the development of turnkey Airbnb rental properties in Colombia and Puerto Rico. I joined a group of entrepreneurs who were building a very exciting venture, creating turnkey cash flowing real estate investments. And we were growing quite well, but I think, various management issues and the pandemic put an end to that chapter. So I actually, since then, have been starting from scratch, essentially. I had a very humble portfolio of crypto investments that I had been dollar cost averaging into. And for the past 2 years, I've been paying more attention to that and diving into the digital and starting to go on adventures into digital real estate in all definitions of the word.
How long would you say you've been in the crypto space, if you don't mind me asking?
It's coming on 3 years now.
Where do you see the blockchain technology going in the next few years, next couple of years?
I see the global systems that we all use move onto the blockchain. I see the blockchain as a new way to store information and to connect to each other. And so I see every social network, every creator, every artist, every business, every video game, every bank, everything move on top of the blockchain. And the beauty of it is that we can now own these new systems. We can actually own the infrastructure. It's like owning the electrical supply of a city or a country. When you own the crypto network that everyone is moving onto, you can become a landowner. So I think this next transition is going to be a lot about the legacy systems grasping onto control, and the users that they have very lucrative agreements with. You know, when we signed the terms and conditions for Facebook and Google, we really gave them rights and ownership and the profits of our attention and energy that we are connecting to each other on their systems. And at that time, you know, the 90s and the 2000s, we didn't have a really alternative system that distributed the wealth that we're creating in these digital systems. But now we do. And so I think Web3 is an amazing trend, but I think Web3 is going to be defined by Web2 companies like Facebook and Google grasping on to its user base and attempting to say, yeah, we're blockchain, we're crypto, we're, use our wallet. We've seen Facebook just close their cryptocurrency project. They weren't able to do it. So I think we're going to see a bit of a transitionary kind of phase where we have some of these big tech companies attempting to retain our attention and control.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean, that leads into a bigger discussion of the metaverse, but that's for another time. Now, I mean, you mentioned attention. Attention is actually currency. So, like on YouTube, you have your subs or subscribers, and you have your views and stuff. Those are actual numbers, but it translates into currency because you can take those numbers and leverage it for advertisement automatically via the system, or you can take it somewhere else.
YouTube is owned by Google, and they pay about fractions of what they're making from the advertisements that they show on our content. So both creators and viewers of the content can now receive tokens of an ecosystem. AIOZ is just one example of that. The Bitcoin has a lot of attention for removing the middleman of banks to do peer-to-peer transactions. Those commissions that are usually taken by the middleman are now distributed to each peer. The same thing is going to happen in the attention economy when we use networks that reward creators and people who are viewing content with the token with the crypto token inside that platform. So the wealth and the power is moving into the individual, which has usually been taken to the top. But I think that's going to be an interesting transition, and so that's why I think we're going to see a lot of resistance, because the big tech won't let it go too easy, especially because we do have the majority of our attention on their platforms right now. We've mentioned the word YouTube various times. We've essentially marketed the network of YouTube various times already, and I think that's a big realization that we're all going to have to make right now, is that we are all network marketers. YouTube and Google is a network, and so which network are we marketing, and how does that network distribute wealth and tokens in the system?
The thing is, I will be uploading this to YouTube, so I kind of thought about that in the beginning. So it is what it is for now. So the thing is, how quickly can this transition be achieved? That's my question, because it's going to happen, right? That's the trend. But how quickly can it happen? There's competing blockchain technologies out there like Solana, Ethereum, obviously, and Bitcoin, the main or gold standard. Where can one find useful resources on blockchain, crypto, DeFi, NFTs from your perspective?
It depends on what the person is trying to do. There are a lot of people, making millions of dollars in NFTs without any knowledge of the blockchain or programming languages. They're getting in very early on community networks, essentially. And NFTs are becoming the membership passes, right? So it depends on what the intention is for somebody. If they want to learn, I think there's an abundance of information to learn. Okay, what is blockchain? What is Bitcoin? What are cryptocurrencies? What are tokens? A simple Google search will find you an abundance of free information.
And a warning, you can be led into a rabbit hole. So you have to you have to set time aside to do your research because
yes,
there is a lot to go through.
Totally. And that's why I think the most important question to have very clear to yourself is, what is your intention? What are you trying to do? And be very, 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 very honest, because, if it's like, oh, I just want to learn the tech, but you actually want to make money, you're going to take a long, you might end up in different places. So, I think everyone's in it for the tech, everyone's in it for the money. I think there's a lot of people in it for community. So I think really mentorship and community are at the core of, I think, what's truly valuable. Because as you go out there, there's an infinite number of scams, of people wanting to make money from you. It's tough because now we're all network marketers. As soon as you own Bitcoin or Solana and you mention that word in public, you're essentially a network marketer, and that makes it hard to find genuine information. But that's the thing. Like, when Bitcoin is an incredible force upon this world, an incredible decentralized opportunity for the people to start fresh on a new system that is not as corruptible as the ones that most of us are using. So I think this transition happens with awareness. As we know, okay, this is what we can do, and we're helping each other out to figure that out. That's the place to go. With that in mind, I've created a Discord, which is called Freedom Stackers. The goal is to build passive income, to work together. Right now, it's an open Discord. There's no membership. It's really just bringing and aligning people who are exploring. There's so much going on, an infinite number of things. The real danger here is just being constantly distracted, right? Shiny new objects, shiny new opportunities. I'm having $1 billion idea by the day at this point, in terms of what can be done. This is a decade for builders and creators right now, and the time is now. So that's, I think, depending on what you want to do, that'd be my first question to have very clear. What is your intention?
Okay,
because you will find it.
It's a broader question that probably needs consultancy, and as you said, for you to fully understand what the individual wants to get into and what do they want out of it. Okay, Thanks. That's it for this week. I will release more of my conversation with Sam in future episodes. Thanks. So along with the usual boom bap, lo-fi or lo-fi, chill hop type beat that I make, I'll be doing remixes of classic hip-hop tracks from the 90s exclusively. One of my last upload though was named Slow Flow to my YouTube channel, Larry Sounds with a Z. That's Larry Sounds with a Z. You can easily Google it or go onto YouTube and type in Larry Sounds. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, and thank you for listening.